Orange County's most populated city, the city of Santa Ana, is located 32 miles south of Los Angeles. It offers a unique variety of mixed cultures and great food, and is a close proximity to the happiest place on earth. I lived in a small 2-bedroom apartment with my roommate, who was never home. One night, when I was home alone, reading a magazine in bed and slowly drifting off to sleep, I was awoken suddenly. I couldn't move. I couldn't speak, and felt as if I was being constricted. I tried so hard to get up and release myself, but the feeling felt tighter and tighter, and I was getting harder and harder to move. At this point, struggling what seemed like forever, I gave up and just lied there. I'm not sure how long I was motionless, but I laid there for quite a while and just stared at the ceiling as it slowly twirled and distorted before my eyes. With a blink, and for a tiny brief moment, the twirling subsided and my room was back to the way it was. Although the room stopped, but the constricted feeling never went away, and I thought, I'm going to die here in this bed, alone. I refused to let this happen, so I soon freaked out and tried harder and harder to move my body. My conscious thoughts were, if I don't fight, this is the end of me. So harder and harder I moved, I eventually started to regain my speech. I heard my own voice and managed to let out a scream. My breathing was heavy, and my eyes were now fixated at the door cracked slightly open. I had regained my speech, but still felt constricted in my bed. As I struggled to regain control of my muscles, I yelled out. At that very moment, behind the door, an old man began walking right through my room. I thought for sure I'm dead. But for some strange reason, I was accepting this vision of a man clearly standing in the middle of my room. My gut reaction caused me to yell out, "What the hell are you doing in my room?" without thinking of the consequences. The old man slowly turned his head and stared right at me. I was stuck. The gaze was piercing, and it frightened me to the core. What felt like way too long, still constricted and now rightfully scared. He turned back his head and continued to walk, and then disappeared right before the window. He just vanished. A fear came over me, so strong that with everything I got, I pushed full force out of the constriction and ran directly out of my room. I hit every single light switch along the way, and the place was lit up bright as day. There was no explanation of what happened that day, and what I saw was something I surely will never forget. That man's stare was so eerie and so forlorn, it's burned into my mind permanently. My roommate came back shortly after, and I was very relieved. But shortly after that, we moved. Not directly because of this experience, but possibly a small part in my mind was telling me, maybe it was. Some say this case can be easily explained on one medical term, sleep paralysis. But because the situation was so traumatizing, that one word explaining it all away is not enough. This is my personal story. I have no proof, but my own words.